Hey, Fred Minnick here, actually recording from my hotel room. I just got off of a set of Moonshiners, recording another episode with them. Very excited about that. I love being on that show. So if you don't watch Moonshiners, make sure you're tuning in this season and next season for some of my appearances and judging the shine. I wanted to talk about the Kentucky Bourbon benefit and some of the items that have been up for auction. We have been in auction now for 24 hours, and so we have a pretty healthy look in terms of what kind of funds we can raise. Now, as a reminder, the Kentucky Bourbon Benefit is a kind of last minute thing that the Kentucky Distillers Association, the Bourbon Crusaders, and my team put together in an effort to raise funds for the tornado survivors, and all the people who were hurt in the tornadoes in Kentucky. It's had the blessing from the Governor Brashear, and we've brought in partners like Bill Minnick as the auctioneer, Westport Whiskey and Wine, and it's been an incredible collaboration. Distillers coming together, individuals donating their best bottles, and so we are raising a lot of money to help the victims of the tornadoes. And I said this previously, but I really believe that this is where like we need to be rooting for higher amounts. Like you always want that in a charity, but this is different. Like if you saw the videos, if you saw the footage, the photos, you just know how devastated people are. So when we're going through this list and we're talking about these bottles or these barrel picks in terms of how much they're selling, I want you to think about it for a moment that it's not unnecessarily about the bottle or about the barrel or whatever. It's about helping someone who's lost everything. And so keep that in mind. And so while there might be this kind of first reaction, well, I'll never get that. Only rich people get this or whatever. Try to keep that energy positive, and instead of like pushing forward to something like that, maybe tweet it or share it, or just don't comment, don't bring that up, because we need as many bidders as we possibly can. And we're talking about like these funds are going to pay for funerals. These funds are going to help rebuild homes. It's all going to the people who have been hurt by the tornadoes in Kentucky. So keep that in mind as you think to comment. So let's go ahead and go inside the auction. So we are looking at 24 hours of the. We are looking at 24 hours of the auction, and we have. This is one of my favorite bottles in the entire auction. It's this 1971 Old Forester President's Choice Single Barrel. Now, this was donated by Master Distiller Chris Morris. He's Master Distiller within Brown-Forman, Woodford Reserve, Old Forester, and he's personally donating this from his collection. I've tasted this before, and it is amazing. Item number 2 is donated by the Van Winkle family. Preston Van Winkle reached out to me, wanted to help. And he donated this old Rip Van Winkle 23-year-old decanter from 2009. Currently, it is at $44,000. $44,000. That is going to help build someone a home. Think about that for a second. That's going to build a home, rebuild a home, help put food on the table for a family that is hurting right now. So a big shout out to the Van Winkle family for making that donation. Smoke Wagon, a rare and limited special batch, small batch. Now they have Aaron donated 60 bottles of this, 60 bottles of that, and like a kind of loose secondary value of that was about $60,000. We are halfway there right now. It is at $30,000. And this auction goes through December 21st, at which time some of the items will be pulled and turned into a live. But, you're looking at kind of if you're a Smoke Wagon fan, if you haven't reached out to all your friends to try and get lot number 3, you're missing out, because you'll never get this kind of opportunity again to get 60 bottles of the rare and limited special batch, small batch. You got Glencoe's 5-year-old Kentucky Straight Bourbon, bottled and bond, $5,000 it's at right now. That's a great kit. But right now, the high item after 24 hours is a one-of-a-kind Angel's Envy cask strength. $75,000. Look at that. $75,000. Angel's Envy cask strength. All you got to do is go over here, register. It's real easy to register on One Cause. You can get there by typing in the URL kybourbonbenefit.com. That'll redirect you to the One Cause platform. You just click on bid, register, and enter your credit card information. I would advise you to make sure your limit can handle the next bid on the Angel's Envy, because $80,000, I don't care who you are, that's going to hit the bank. But we appreciate it. Every single dime that's spent here is going to help the relief efforts in Kentucky. And this Angel's Envy is on a trajectory to beat a Michter's record that was set last year. And I believe that was, gosh, I don't remember the exact record amount, but I believe it was $250,000 for a barrel. And speaking of Michter's, Michter's has a really great auction item up right now. It is a lot of whiskey that is not being donated. Michter's has its own donation in here, but this is actually being donated by the Los Angeles Dodgers pitcher Walker Buehler and his wife Mackenzie. They're donating this. This is their favorite bourbon. Buehler is from Kentucky. You know, he's an all-star pitcher from Kentucky. He's from Lexington. And so obviously this weighs heavy on his heart. And he's donating some of the rarest bourbons on the market. He's also throwing in a signed jersey. Here's the deal. We would normally have a conversation with someone like Walker on my show about what they're doing, but he's on his honeymoon right now, and I don't dare interrupt a man on his honeymoon, or anybody on their honeymoon for that matter. So let's keep this look going. Again, 24 hours into this. Here's an item. You can win a vintage library tasting, a private tasting with me and my good friend, kind of like my big sister, Peggy No Stevens. And she's also the godmother of my 3-year-old. So check that out, the vintage library tasting. Right now it's at $8,000. $8,000. You know what? They're getting there. They're getting there. I think we're worth a little bit more than $8,000. The Jim Beam lineage also worth more than what it's at right now. Right now, the Jim Beam lineage is at $1,995 for this auction. It should be going for around $5,000 to $6,000. So I expect that to continue to go up. Buzzard's Roost 15-year bourbon. That's from Jason Bronner, the owner of Bourbon's Bistro. He is looking at $1,090 for his donation. And how about this? How would you like, as a fan of football and a fan of bourbon, how would you like to do a private tour with NFL Hall of Famer, Heisman Trophy winner, Super Bowl winner, Charles Woodson, one of the greatest to ever play the game? Charles Woodson has donated his time and his whiskey for a private tour at Green River Distillery, and you're going to get to taste some of his whiskey and kind of check the place out. Right now it's at $5,600. I think it's worth far more than that. I honestly think that's sort of priceless. Okay, so this lot here, you see the 2020 William LaRue Weller at $3,700, Henry McKenna 10-year-old at $730, Knob Creek 15-year-old, old antique Weller, and the Blantons there. That entire row is donated by a personal friend of mine, Sean Sinnott. So a big shout out to Sean for making that donation. He dipped into his collection to do that. Right now, the Henry McKenna's at $730. The Knob Creek 15-year-old's a little over $1,000. The Old Weller Antique 107, that's from the mid-2000s. That's at $2,500. And Blanton's is at $735. Again, these prices are not to be compared to either secondary prices or liquor store prices. These are in hopes of helping to rebuild Kentucky. And if every time you see this price, every time you think about it, if you can realize that it's more than just the bourbon, more than just the bottle, that's the mindset I'd love for you to take, and not like, bring that negative energy in here, like, oh well, I can never afford that. I got to guarantee you, I can't afford the stuff that's in this auction, but I'm pushing it like there is no tomorrow, because I know this effort is going to rebuild someone a house. It's going to make sure that a child has clothes when they are back. It's going to make sure they have food on the table. And we're in a long haul situation here. If you've seen this videos, if you've seen the photos, you know the devastation. This is not something that's going to be fixed tomorrow. I'm not going away from this. The Bourbon Crusaders are not going away from this. The KDA is not going away from this. So I want you all to think about that as the bidding is going. Think about like how every single dollar is helping those who are going to need it most. Now, this Kentucky Ale Dry State, this is at $3,000. Ordinarily, when you see this bottle in the wild, I would say that it's usually marked up right around, it's marked up very heavily. This is one of those bottles that's heavily marked up. So I'm pretty shocked that right now it's only at $3,000. You could actually find this in a liquor store for that at the moment. So if you've been curious about the Kentucky Ale Dry State, I'd say go ahead and give that a bid. But $3,000 is not where it should end up. 6 bottles of Smooth Ambler Old Scout right now, $76.60. If you recall my bourbons of the century so far, this was on there. We're talking about the creme de la creme of MGP that was additionally aged in West Virginia. These bourbons are on another level of amazing. And if I had the money, I would be bidding on that right now. Boone County's got a single barrel experience going on, $24,700. Now, these are the barrels, the cases, bottles. That is included in the price. So $24,000. That sounds like a lot of money, but for the quality of bourbon that you're going to get, it's going to be worth every penny. So now we're going to kind of get into some of the more celebrity-oriented things. We got a lot more whiskeys in here too. Tool's Maynard James Keenan is doing a virtual tasting. So if you are a fan of Tool and if you want to taste a bourbon with Maynard or a wine with Maynard, you best get to bidding, because that will skyrocket. I know how the Tool fans are. They wait till the last minute to bid on something, and they will bid that sky high. Also on the celebrity circuit, we got Mick Fleetwood. Mick Fleetwood, of course, founder of Fleetwood Mac, signed a drumhead, some drumsticks. Right now it's at $1,105. Ooh, if you are a Fleetwood Mac fan, that is going to make an incredible thing to hang on your wall. Staying in that celebrity realm, country music star, country music Hall of Famer Alan Jackson has signed a Stetson cowboy hat and is gifting it here for the auction. Right now it's at $685. That is awesome. Man, that is awesome. All right, let's take a bottle. Okay, so here is the steal of the auction. No eyes are on it. It's one of the lowest bidded items in the entire auction. I'm an idiot for even talking about it, because I personally want this bottle. But this means like I'm going against my own needs, if you will. But this original Sam Houston bottle, this is from the House of Jeffersons. This is what they were bottling. And if you've had any of the older Jeffersons, you know how good Trey and Chet's palates are. This right here could be the best bang for your buck in the entire auction. The original Sam Houston bottle is donated by Chris Zaborowski, the partner and retail partner at Westport Whiskey and Wine for this effort. And right now at $570, that is a steal. That's a steal even in the secondary market, in my opinion. So hopefully me bringing awareness to this doesn't piss off the current high bidder too much, but we got to get that bottle up there. I personally have a couple of the Boone County 12-year-olds and 13-year-olds. Those are incredible bourbons. Right now, they're sitting at around $1,000 a piece. So as we get into, this is interesting. Sometimes the bottles are broken up here, and you can see there's a couple 12-year-olds a little lower in price. All right, so going back to Smoke Wagon. Smoke Wagon is a distillery out in Nevada. Hold on. I need a sip of that. They're out in Nevada. They contract distill with MGP ingredients, and they do their own thing in a lot of ways, but they age additionally in Nevada, and I think that has a big play, makes a big difference in what's put out into the market in comparison to other MGP contract distilled or sourced products. I think that Nevada heat adds a layer of intensity, complexity to their whiskeys that no one else is getting. That being said, Aaron from Smoke Wagon has donated the first 10 bottles of the 9-year Smoke Wagon Rare and Limited single barrels. Now, these would be the first 10 distillates that came from MGP after they acquired it from LDI or CAL Financial. Right now, it's at $16,000, and as the auction went, as it became live, it went to $16,000 very fast. It went there very, very quickly, and it just it stayed there since. Now, what has been moving a little bit has been the Smoke Wagon Rare and Limited 9-year. Now, what's different between this one and the other ones? The other ones are about 110 proof. This is 140.79 proof. The highest proof is Smoke Wagon history. There's only, I think, only like 24 of these bottles in existence. So if you get this, you're going to have something truly rare and limited. This is a exceptionally rare product. Okay, we're going to scroll down a little bit more. Take a look at some of these packages. You get the Horse Soldier Select Limited release, the Whiskey and War Stories. I applaud them. I love Horse Soldier and what they're doing. They're heroes, and right now they're at 3,060. I mean, that should be way higher. That's too low in my opinion for that one. We have something very, oh boy, see this rare Michter's Distillery experience? You see 6666. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo, the eye of the beast. And right below the 6666 is a Dragon NFT. Now, this kind of a little bit creepy, but also kind of cool. So we do have, for the first time in my knowledge, we have an NFT in a bourbon auction. And NFTs are non-fungible tokens. They're basically pieces of art that are being put out there in high res, and they're really cool. I actually, I don't think I've mentioned this before. I'm actually working on my own NFT, and it's not what you would think. It's very, very different. But yeah, I just you got 666 next to some dragons, and just thinking, the sign of the beast. Okay, so we got the Blade and Bow 22-year-old experience. That's doing really well at 4,200. Doing really well at 4,200. The Kentucky Owl private tour and tasting with John Ray and David Mandel. That's an interesting combo. You get to hang with David Mandel. You're going to get an interesting day. Just a great guy. Good to be around. Fun times with him. Okay, so let's see. We got some more auction items here. We've got the private barrel here. Well, let's pull this on up here. So this is one of the headliners of the show or of the auction. You get to choose. You get to pick a private barrel from Four Roses, and they're bringing out barrels between 17 and 24 years of age. 17 and 24 years of age. If this doesn't, I mean, it's been online for like maybe 30 seconds, and it's already at $7,800. This is the kind of whiskey that when we close our eyes, this is what we'll think of, and it's going to taste so much better because of what it's doing for our incredible state. So, right now it is at 7,800. These new items, how this is working, we're staggering drops for a couple reasons. One is that we wanted to have something new to talk about, through Saturday. And another reason is it's easier on this team to do it that way. Now we could have done them all at once, but that'd been very taxing. And you got to remember, we are doing an auction that normally would take 6 months to prepare. We've done it in a matter of 3 to 5 days. That's because of the team from the Bourbon Crusaders. That's because of the Kentucky Distillers Association. On my team, Keith, our designer, Allison DeLand, you've seen her before. You've heard me talk about her before. But Allison DeLand is another level of amazing. Of course, Bill Minnick from the Auctioneer House. He's been incredibly helpful. One Cause has been incredibly helpful. And, of course, Westport Whiskey and Wine has just completely stopped everything they're doing to focus on this. So we've all kind of, it's a multi, we just saw the dragon, but it's a multi-headed dragon that you take one head off and it doesn't work. So what we have done here is we have really created a dream team in the bourbon community to make this happen. And it all starts with the distillers wanting to donate something cool, something that people want. And folks, I'm just telling you, Four Roses just walked up and they dropped the mic. Everyone's donated a lot of cool stuff, but they donated a barrel that's 17 to 24 years old. They just donated 5 limited edition small batch series as well as the Al Young bottle. They donated the 20-year release. They donated 2 20-year releases, the single barrels from the Visitor Center that came out. They donated a box set, a collection box set of all 10 recipes. A 6-bottle set of all 10 recipes. Well, I don't think that's right. Let me click in here and read that. All right, hold on. I'll read that to you. The 10 recipe collection, 1 private selection bottling representing each of the Four Roses distinct bourbon recipes. Okay. So they donated that set. We've got a George T. Stagg in here. The starting bid has not started yet, but it is at 800 is the starting bid. An 8-year-old Willett Estate private barrel just dropped. It's already at $30,000. Already at $30,000. That is amazing. And then Doc Swinson sent their entire line. Just incredible. And of course, at the end there, you can at the end of the auction, when you click next, you get to like a donate now. But there is a lot of stuff that you can get to. You can buy. There's a lot of products in here that I feel like you can buy. Like right now, the starting bid for a Redemption Rye 6-year-old is $60. Historically, that bottle is going to finish around $300 to $400. Now, this is a special auction, could be very different, but you just never know. And even if you don't win a bottle, you have to realize that your bidding helps. Your bidding helps. It pushes people over the top to go and check it out. The worst part about observing an auction is not participating, because even if you don't win, when you got something in the game, for a charity like this, for a benefit like this, and again, go to kybourbonbenefit.com. That's going to take you to the auction site. Even if you don't win, you've made an impact. And if you don't want to bid, if you're nervous about bidding, just share a link. Just share the link. Just tell people about it. That's all All you got to do. But I wanted to give you like a preview under like 30 minutes, and it's always interesting to do these outside of my comfort zone. I'm in a hotel room in Tennessee in Gatlinburg, so it's always a different situation when don't have a microphone and all that. But thank goodness the internet worked well enough where I could crack into the site and go through it. But please go to kybourbonbenefit.com, bid early, bid often. It closes on December 31st at 10 p.m. I will be live streaming the auction to here. Like, we're going to live stream the auction to the YouTube channel, and I hope to God that everybody shows up and bids a lot. So thank you for tuning in. I appreciate your support and helping to rebuild Western Kentucky. Cheers.